Paul has warned young Timothy about those with corrupt minds, those who are hoping that their godliness will bring great gain in their lives. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Monday. You know, there is a group that Paul has warned against who won't listen to others. They are obsessed with disputes in the church, and Timothy is warned to withdraw from them. Instead of those who argue and seek to profit financially from their Christian lives, Paul reminds Timothy and us today that godliness is to be sought after for our soul's sake. He says in 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6, "Now godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we will carry nothing out. And having food and clothing, with these we shall be content." You see, godliness is said to follow in our lives when we follow the doctrine of Scripture. It is actually a commitment to be a devout follower of God and His Son, Jesus Christ. Now, one writer describes godliness as a sort of religiousness in our lives. I strongly disagree with that picture. To be religious often means just following the rules of our faith, to be a dutiful member of some certain religion. But godliness goes further. It actually describes our lives as seeking after righteousness, seeking to be holy in this life as He is holy, and of course has called us to follow in such a way. So he speaks of godliness with contentment. This is a picture of a strong faith in the Lord that says, I know He has the ability to supply my every need, rather than to always seek after the next big thing in this life. He describes contentment in life as realizing that we brought nothing into this world, and we will certainly carry nothing out with us. It would be most unusual and certainly needless to see a U-Haul attached behind a hearse headed for the cemetery. You cannot take it with you. Some are so concerned with amassing fortune and possessions and all the things in this life that they don't show the contentment that comes with really trusting in the Lord. Paul has said he has learned how to be abased and how to abound during his missionary journeys. So he can easily say that having food and clothing shall make us content. He also uses a play on words here by saying godliness with contentment is great gain. It's not seeking after it, we find it. Contrasting our contentment with those who are seeking to prosper themselves with their piety or their godly practices. And just as Paul has had to live oftentimes in a simple lifestyle without things, he reminds Timothy, and he reminds us too, that seeking after godliness is actually the greatest quest that we can have in this life. These others lived in envy and strife. We are called to be peaceable and to be content in our godliness.